Oh, hello. It has been an age since I've made a live or a video, anything like that. And for some reason my camera's out of sync a little bit, but hopefully it'll be fine. So yeah, lots of news happening, man. Lots of news. Happy Saturday to people watching. It's been a crazy few weeks for me. As I explained in my video, I've just been like working and I've been away, but now I'm back. As you can see, the collection is all organised once again. It's one of the first things I do when I finish work is just sort out the collection. Get that shit sorted. Yeah, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the sort of nerdy world, the movie world, so we're going to get into it straight away. And one of the first things I want to talk about, I'm going to clap because I'm going to be clipping these videos up and put them online, so that'll hopefully help for me. Be good if I recorded as well, actually, at the same time. So let's try that again. There we go. So sync it up, Joe, because I can't afford an editor. Anyway, how is everyone? I hope you're all good. Lots of news going on. Lots of news I haven't really caught up on. Twitter's been kind of funny, obviously with The Flash. The Flash is doing terrible at the moment in the box office. I have to say I'm very surprised, but also I'm not shocked, which is weird. I don't know how to explain that. I really thought this movie would make a lot of money in its first opening weekend. You know, with them releasing it during Father's Day and everything, I thought that would help a little bit. But coming out just after Across the Spider-Verse, and we'll talk about Across the Spider-Verse later as well, actually, is a bit of a danger. And I didn't really think about it until after I saw Across the Spider-Verse. Which is, yeah, it's sad. It is kind of sad because I kind of just went, oh no. I was like, this film's really good, Across the Spider-Verse, and hadn't seen The Flash yet, but I was like, that Flash film has got to be top notch to do well. Like, it has to be really, really good. Just sorting out my screens and so on. Oh my god! A bit of unrelated news. That news about the Titanic sub, the Titan with the 5 men on board, absolutely soul destroying stuff. I think the world has not been that gripped since COVID. I think it was a scary time, and we were just thinking about those poor people that were down there, especially that 19-year-old kid. I can't stop thinking about him. And you know, a lot of news is coming out recently that he did not want to go on it. He wasn't very comfortable, and this has happened. But the other news we're getting is that if it was a pressure problem, if it was a implosion, they wouldn't even known, and that kind of soothes it a little bit, which is sad to say. It really is. So yeah, but yeah, seriously, love to all the family and everything like that. It's absolutely. I've seen a lot of memes and people take the piss. This is during. I think there was a lot of hope that they could find them at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean alive. But I just don't find it funny. I don't care. I understand people have a thing against billionaires and everything, but at the same time, that 19-year-old kid, that poor 19-year-old guy with his life ahead of him, gone just in an instance, and I feel so sorry for his mother and his family and the father's family, but also to the other people on board, you know, like the professionals for the sub. That was absolutely heartbreaking. So yeah, just wanted to highlight that because it was a unique thing to happen. But anyway, let's get on to the light news. Let's talk about a few things going forward. I want to start off with, which I was quite shocked about. A lot of people are saying they weren't, but I was. Is the Comic-Con debacle. That the I'm gonna just get out, open the chat here, the pop-out chat, in case anybody does want to talk to me. But the yeah, the Comic Con stuff. So it looks like a lot of studios, a lot of companies are not going to Comic Con, which is huge news. And this has happened before. You know, Marvel's not attended Comic Con, I think, once or twice before. But also, it's just a bit of a shock because, I mean, does it spell trouble for the stuff they're working on, especially Marvel? Netflix, obviously, in a lot of deep water. Basically, what it is because of the WGA strikes. And if you don't know what's going on, the Writers Guild of America are on a strike at the moment. They've been going for a little over 50 days now, obviously for workers' rights and writers' rights and so on. Completely understandable, and it's just not. It's not going well. They're not. The studios aren't listening to them, which is a real shame. But but writers are so important. They're so key and integral to the movie making business, TV making business, all of it. So this is probably what I'm going to be reading into. So Variety, a lot of Variety articles, by the way. Comic Con crisis, Marvel, Netflix, Sony, HBO and Universal to skip San Diego Comic Con as Fest faces another existential threat. Comic Con it's one of the things I remember years ago always wanting to go to, really excited about. And just over the years, that sort of passion has kind of dwindled. And I don't know if it's because the last one was very disappointing, just from hearing certain things. But I mean, Variety here. For 2 years, the biggest annual fan convention in North America was forced to cancel the 5-day gathering due to the COVID-19 pandemic, placing Comic-Con International, the non-profit organisation that runs SDCC, under unprecedented financial strain. So there's a lot of financial stuff, definitely. Last year, San Diego Comic-Con came roaring back with a masked and vaccinated convention that was a robust success, with blockbuster Hall H panels for the Star Trek TV universe, House of the Dragon, The Walking Dead, and especially Marvel Studios. I have to say, Marvel Studios panel was huge. There was a lot of big announcements, but the way the Marvel films have been going recently, I feel like less people are excited now. This year's Comic-Con, which is scheduled to start July 19th, less than a month away, is increasingly likely to have none of those panels. Oh my god. At least that's what the studios across the industry are anticipating. If SAG, AFTRA and the AMPTP cannot come to terms by June 30th contract deadline, and the guild goes on strike. So that basically, it's not just the WGA, there's more guilds going on strike. The acting guilds, the director guilds. I think there's loads more, and this is the worry: is that the more that goes on strike, it's going to be unprecedented. Basically, it's going to be one of the biggest strikes in movie TV history. It's going to be huge if it does go ahead. Amid the uncertainty, several studios have nixed plans for a robust presence at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Disney and its subsidiaries, Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm, not planning any panels. Lucasfilm I kind of understand because they just did Star Wars Celebration, which I went to, and they announced quite a few things there, so it doesn't surprise me. And they've got a few shows coming out. We've got Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew coming soon. There'll be no updates on the Daisy Ridley Rey thing for a little while, I believe. So yeah. There's a few projects coming out. The Marvels, Loki Season 2, Ahsoka and Haunted Mansion, Sony Pictures, just the Exorcist and bloody blah. Netflix, which held its massive Turnham fan event in Brazil, where it debuted first looks at big budget genre series, including its One Piece adaptation. I mean, just a lot of these companies are doing their own sort of Comic Cons, and I think the first time I ever saw that was with DC Fandom during COVID, and I really liked that first DC Fandom. The second one was fucking awful. It was really bad. Other studios are still maintaining a wait-and-see posture. Warner Brothers, which needs a robust PR boost for upcoming DC features Blue Beetle and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, has yet to rule out skipping Comic-Con, and the company's streaming service Max is planning on bringing some animation titles to the convention. Now, what this means, basically, if Warner Brothers does go ahead and does the convention, they're gonna beat all these companies out of the park, I believe, because obviously James Gunn has finished Superman Legacy. That is done. And he is currently casting for the roles of Superman, Lois Lane, and I'm presuming Lex Luthor and any other side characters. I think Gunn and that are going to come out on stage and introduce the new Superman and make it a very memorable Comic Con. That could be an option, but again, James Gunn might not have found his Superman by that time. These things take time. The auditions are going well apparently, but time will tell. There's a lot of other hats in the ring basically to kind of decide the future of Superman, and also with the recent Flash news, I really don't know what's going on in DC Studios, but we'll get into that in a minute. So yeah, Comic Con looks like it's done. It's really sad, it really is, but what would be interesting is Comic Con goes back to its roots and it's all about comics. like the comic industry is just constantly dying. It's on its knees. There's not enough people buying comics. I buy quite a few comics, but I still don't buy enough. I'm not I'm not keeping up to date with the latest everything. But so Comic-Con has a really good chance of trying to think of a innovative way to kind of get new audiences, younger kids, into comic books, because they are hard to get into. I have to admit, I find it difficult to read a comic. With all these TV shows and films and animation, live animation and everything, it's much easier than reading the thing. But we have to support where we can support. So we'll move on from Comic Con. That is very sad news. I'm very interested to see if Warner Brothers does go, because again, if they go amid everything and the others don't, and it sounds like they're not going, DC could knock it out of the park. They really could. So the Flash. Let's talk about the Flash. Oh my god, this movie. This movie, man. Just kind of a follow-up from my review, my sit down and talk review I did, because I had no access to all this. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy the Flash, but it was the sort of final nail in the coffin of the Snyderverse for me. I'm not a fan of this tone and where it was originally going. So if this film came out, it's still going to be the DCEU with Michael Keaton as the new Batman and everything, and I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me, and it's not really a knock out of the park. It's not really knocking Marvel out of the way still. Flash box office struggling. 55 million US opening last weekend has had industry types running in circles trying to find the door-marked box office bomb. The Hollywood Reporter said that Andy Muschietti directed superhero epic did even worse than 2009's Watchmen, while Variety quoted an industry insider who described the film's performance as an unmitigated disaster and pondered if the movie would even break even. There's Andy Muschietti and the Ezra Miller. As you know, Andy Muschietti is supposedly directing Batman the Brave and the Bold. Obviously, just from like Lucasfilm sort of standards that we've seen before in Star Wars projects, directors who don't do a good job on their first movie in that sort of category, in that universe, don't really make it out the other end. I think though maybe Andy has a good pitch for Brave and the Bold. I'm a bit worried about the tone of the film, with his directing style and what he did with the Flash. So we'll see. There's a lot. There's not really a good explanation why the Flash is doing bad. You got Michael Keaton as Batman. You got a Supergirl. You have the Flash. There are people who are fans of the Flash. You got Michael Shannon Zod. It's a big DC cluster fuck, which is I think what a lot of people wanted. Is a big DC cluster multiverse fuck, and I kind of wanted that. And to be honest, I came out of the film and just went, yeah, it was alright. And that was it. I was really excited for this film. I mean, I don't know if you could see, but I've got Michael Keaton Batman merch all over here. I've still got more coming. I've got an action figure of him back here. I've got all the Batmans, look, over here. And I've got even more. Like I've got Batmobile coming and Batwing. I was so excited. Look, the stickers on there. I was so excited. But yeah, I was just like, that was a movie. So I am kind of, I was kind of gutted with the Flash. I really was. But I don't know. It's a movie. The problem I'm having, and what's really annoying me, is all these Snyder fans saying, "Ha, see, the public are bored of the DC brand. This is why Snyder should have been taking the reins. This is why," thank you to the GM as God, "this is why we should capitalize on using the DC IP with Netflix. Yes. Suicide Squad, the Ayer cut, the Schumacher cut, Jenkins cut." Is that Jenkins cut of Wonder Woman? Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 1, Constantine 2, Ben Affleck's The Batman, Henry Cavill, Man of Tomorrow, 1854 Wonder Woman, Justice League Part 1, Part 3, Part 2, Part 3, David Ayer's Gotham City, Cyborg, a character no one gives a shit about, Atom, Flash, Flashpoint, and literally this person's posted. I just love that. Yeah, the Snyder... I tell you what, the Flash film was a fantastic closure to the Snyderverse, if you like. It was a tribute, definitely. I think what didn't work for me was having Keaton fighting off General Zod's people. The tones didn't quite match. Derpy, yo, Derpy, it's been a long time. How you doing? Joe Daddy, Joe Mama. Yeah, how you doing, Derpy? Sorry, it's been a while. I've just explained at the beginning of this live that I've been working, so I'm tired, and here I am doing a live, and hopefully do some clip ups of this live and post them on YouTube and everything. Derpy, can you rate out of 10 the background, the new background? Not much has changed, but there's a lot of Funko Pops. We've got a few Batmans. We've got a few stuff. I support Zack Snyder for getting a job at Walmart. Get a job at Walmart? Zack Snyder got a job at Walmart? No way. Oh yeah, but this is the new background anyway. But I'll keep going with this. But yeah, just if you support Snyder, I completely understand. I have the Snyder Cut on 4K. I enjoy the Snyder Cut, but I think this universe is just not the way forwards, and the Snyder Cult, like the hardcore ones, not like you, Derpy, but the hardcore ones are just a little bit insane. There was actually sorry, there was actually a video that I couldn't stop laughing at the other day, and it was a guy going insane on Twitter. I can't find it, unfortunately, but just carrying on talking about the opening weekends domestically of comic book movies. There was this great graph from Culture Crave, which is finally back. No, I'm not a Snyder fan at all. That was a joke. That's fair enough. I don't hate Snyder. I just can't believe what that man has single-handedly done to this community of DC fans, because that is the rest of our lives now. That is the rest of our lives. We're just going to hear this is why Snyder should have... Zack Snyder never wanted to do this. He doesn't want to do it. Why do people not understand this, man? Anyway, I'm not going to go into it. We'll go into it another time. But as you can see, Batman v Superman was the biggest domestic box office opening weekend at 166 million, which is not a surprise. You put Batman and Superman in the title, and you also advertise Wonder Woman going in the film, and that's going to happen. I'm very surprised that Man of Steel is third. Suicide Squad I'm less surprised about, because a lot of people were excited for that, because it was like the first sort of major villain film and everything, even though it wasn't brilliant. Wonder Woman, fourth place, can understand that. I think a lot of the talk helped to that. Justice League, the original, I remember when that came out and no one was going to watch that, because people went to see Batman v Superman, but no one cared. They were just like, I came out of that film like, what was that? Man of Steel was good until the ending. Then BVS was meh. I hated that what he did with Batman and killing Superman. The second film was just why. I completely agree. I was very shocked that he did the death of Superman in Henry Cavill's second Superman film. I always think Ben Affleck is he's actually a good Bruce Wayne. I'll give him that. But Batman, I liked him in the fight scenes. I liked his presence, but he just wasn't. Sorry, my action figures are falling off my shelf. But he just wasn't. I don't know. There was something not quite right and quite working for me about it, and I'm not quite sure what it was. And then obviously, MCU just killing it because they took their time and didn't rush from Man of Steel to Batman v Superman to Justice League. That's how quick that happened. Obviously you had Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman in between and everything, but they rushed it with, what is that, 4 films? God, the Marvel Universe took about 6 films until Avengers or something like that, which is crazy. So yeah, it's not doing well. I was watching The Big Thing with Christian Harloff and Roxy Stryer. I never used to like Christian, but to be honest, he's grown on me recently. And they were talking about how confusing the DC is now. So I'll just play this back. By the way, if you haven't seen The Flash, I wouldn't watch this. But yeah, carrying on. It is stupid and confusing. The DCEU films don't matter at this point. I don't know why anybody expected The Flash to have results with the reputation DC films has. Well, it had Batman in it. It had Michael Keaton as Batman in it. It was kind of a nostalgia fest, and that was the belief that it would work, like it would make money. And I kind of understand that. Batman makes money. Superman? I don't know. But Batman makes money, and the Joker. Those are the 2 major DC Warner Brothers things that make money. The Batman, I'm trying to remember how much the Batman made in its opening weekend. Let's have a look. Remember, the Flash made 55 million in its opening weekend. The Batman, one character, made 128.5 million domestically in its first weekend. That's pretty good. And then if we go to the box office mojo Jojo, domestically 369 quadrillion. Internationally, so it made 770 million worldwide. The Flash at the moment. Let's look at the Flash. Obviously, its release isn't finished. This website's not working. I don't know why. The Flash. Wow. 172 million worldwide currently. And it's just entering its second weekend, I believe. I hate Keaton. Batman doesn't kill. I was only going to see Flash for character, the DC. The DCU setup that James Gunn promised, but definitely didn't happen by the end of the film, as we saw. I don't hate Keaton's Batman. I'm a huge fan of Keaton's Batman. I don't really care that his version kills because it's a Tim Burton version of the character. It's not the definitive Batman. I kind of think it matches his world. And also Keaton doesn't really kill. Like, Keaton doesn't really kill the villains in the first two Batman films. But I'm glad we can have this conversation, Derpy. I'm glad we can have this conversation and then you not lash out at me and threaten to kill me or anything, so that's good. Snyder fans are so delusional to think James Gunn was involved with The Flash. Well, James Gunn was involved in The Flash, but only with the ending of the film. And that I find is reasonable and is not the reason why The Flash is failing. I completely agree with you, Derpy. Like, they are insane. They're saying James Gunn's plan isn't working because The Flash was a bomb, when James Gunn had nothing to do with the overall production of The Flash, apart from possibly changing the ending so it didn't confuse audiences. But it has confused Twitter, because a lot of Twitterers think George and he said George Lucas, that would be funny, George Clooney is the new DCU Batman, and I completely understand it. Can you imagine if they had Christian Bale walk out of that car at the end? Spoilers for The Flash, but can you imagine if it was Christian Bale? The internet would have gone fucking insane. So yeah, domestically, 55 million opening, 72 million gross. That's bad. It's making way more. It made way more in its opening in the UK. Made about 5 million, 5.5. France, it was doing well. United Arab Emirates. Wow, yeah, Spain is 4th. That's brilliant. But yeah, for Europe and everything. Domestically, yeah, so 5 million. I'm just surprised that the United Kingdom is top, actually. Actually, I'm not surprised because we love Batman over here. We do. So yeah, no, it's a crazy time. So The Flash, and why I think it's failing? I think it's failing because the advertisements were rubbish. No, seriously, actually, to be honest, the marketing was really good. I'm only joking. The marketing was very good for this film. It was very good. It's everywhere. When I say everywhere, I mean every alleyway, every street corner. I see a Flash poster. The merchandise, not as prominent as the advertising, but it's definitely been advertised to shit. And I've heard a lot of people saying Ezra Miller is the reason people aren't going to watch, but to be honest, the public don't care about the Ezra Miller situation. I'm going to carry on watching this video, actually. Roxy's right. Why are they picking and choosing? I understand it's James Gunn, he wants to keep good relationships, but my God, does that man just not stop? Oh shit. Lost audio? Can you not hear the video? No. Anyway, they're making some good points there. Just like Wait, can you hear that video? Hope you can hear that. In my solitude. Oh damn, no you can't. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. I'm wide awake. I'm in my own university in space. Because I know what it is exactly. It's this stupid setting. Derpy, tell me if you can hear it now.
You're 100% right. It is playing favorites, and I understand why. He loves the show. He loves doing it. It's another gig for his wife.
Can you hear that? Because I know what it is exactly. It's I can hear it. It was on this wrong stream track. That's really annoying. But thank you so much for the shout out. That's brilliant. I think you've just fixed my whole setup going forward. Yeah, carrying on. Let me go back actually.
Too. Right.
It just feels like playing favorites in a way that's
DCU. That's what I mean. Because they said it's so stupid and confusing, but like that was their fix. It's like saying, okay, well, so basically, if the movie bombs and it eats a pile of shit, and they go, we're done with this. It's an Elseworlds movie. If it crushes and it continues, like, well, no, that's part of our DCU now.
I don't know. I think that, okay, here's what I want versus here's what I think that they're doing. Unfortunately, in my dream of dream worlds, at this point, we completely cut every single person and we move forward with all new people.
Yeah, that's what they should have done in the first place.
Because that's
what they should be doing. It's just obvious. Adam West best cartoon Batman. Keaton best toned Batman. Agree. Val Kilmer best acted Batman. That's interesting. Clooney best Bruce Wayne. I think he's like the more solidified Bruce Wayne, isn't he? Like he's overcome everything. Christian Bale best written Batman. Agreed. Ben Affleck best combat and gadgets, and Pattinson best depiction of the character to the screen because no kill rule. I mean, yeah, I think that's what the Batman trilogy is going to be about, if there is a trilogy. Is that his whole morale, his morals affect his progression in the world of Gotham City. That's the amazing thing about the Batman. But we got the audio back. Yay!
the clear.
Have I? Oh my god, I've done it again. I've pressed the wrong bloody thing. I keep doing that.
too.
Love it.
Yeah, you liked Peacemaker even better than you liked The Boys.
No, I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen
I
The
think
Boys
that you
yet.
didn't you rank the last season of Peacemaker one higher than The Boys?
Than the last season
of The Boys, right.
last season of The Boys.
Right, that's
but,
what I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Like, that's
but-
how much you like Peacemaker.
Yeah, the overall, but it's not fair. There's 3 seasons as compared to 1. But overall, I like The Boys better. But yes, for that season, I loved it. I love.
I don't think Keaton's the best. I don't think Keaton's the best. I just think he's the most memorable because that's like one of the first live action Batmans I remember. So yeah, I am blinded by nostalgia, definitely. That's why I went to watch this film. I really truly believe if he was not in this film, I would not have gone and watched it. I wouldn't have.
Love what's his face, Freddie Stroma in that show is just next level. They all are great, but yeah, but even saying that, it's very similar to what you just said. If you're going to do a reboot and you're going to start fresh, then start fresh.
Right.
Take your second. You're 100% right. It is playing favorites, and I understand why. He loves the show. He loves doing it. It's another gig for his wife to work, and she's good, by the way. I don't think it's just people keep giving her shit because it's James Gunn's wife.
good.
She's in everything. She's a very good actress.
She's the least of our worries.
Yeah, 100%. But I just think that they should. I was saying this from the get go. If you're going to get rid of Cavill and you're going to just say, look, I couldn't agree with you more. This is it. We're starting fresh. We're getting a new Superman. We're getting new Batman.
It feels wrong to keep Momoa and not Cavill. That feels weird to me.
I agree. Yeah,
But that seems like what they're doing.
but they're trying to explain it in a different way, and it's like, and look, there could be a to James Gunn. And I don't necessarily agree with this, but I could see where he was like, well, to me, I like this kind of cool Aquaman, and I think that fits into what we want to do. But the Superman that Zack Snyder.
I'm bored of Christian Harloff. So yeah, The Flash is just not doing well. We'll see where it goes, and obviously, with all this Flash news. The Snyder cult. Ah, it rises. Oh yes, I was wondering what would break first. Your camera. Oh, your backup. I have got my camera here properly. Stand by. The other one overheated because it's a piece of shit. There it is. We'll get it updated color-wise. Why don't we? David Cornsweat? Oh yeah, Cornsweat. Hilarious second name, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely grown on me more. The sort of the casting and everything. Just gonna adjust this quick. I want everyone to see my face. Yeah, David Cornsweat. I really think there's a good chance. I really want Emma Mackey to be Lois Lane though. I don't want that person from Marvelous Miss Maisel or the other Margot Robbie lookalike. I don't care about them. Give me Emma Mackey as Lois Lane, then I'll be watching that film. Jensen Ackles for Batman. I don't know. Kind of mixed on that. I've never seen Jensen Ackles do something really amazing. That's my only problem with Jensen Ackles. I've never gone, oh my god, Jensen Ackles, yeah, he should be Batman. Like I've never done that ever. But I mean, it's a choice. It's definitely a choice. But yeah, you know, with the Snyder cult going, see, Warner Brothers can sell stuff. You're fucking dumb. You really are. So Warner Brothers Discovery negotiating $500 million deal to sell film and TV music publishing assets. Let me just read that for the Snyderverse people. Music publishing assets. What this means basically, and it doesn't mean they sell to someone else and that's it. That's gone from their books. It means these other companies can use this music stuff in their stuff and in their films and TV shows. So they can have someone's ringtone be the Batman theme tune. They can have someone from Casablanca. You know, that is the whole point of it. Reps for Warner Discovery, Sony and Universal either declined or did not respond to Variety's request. So Sony and Universal are kind of on the bidding war at the moment. I think it's going to be Sony. I don't think Universal has the money or the balls to do it, to be honest. Sony is in a really good place with their stuff now. Obviously their convergence with Marvel Studios and, you know, the Spider-Verse films being successful and everything. Can you imagine the potential of those multiverse films, like including Batman music to refer to Batman? Like, that'd be quite incredible. But that is the main thing. Yes, it does spell trouble for Warner Brothers. This is huge for Warner Brothers because they're trying to make money very quickly. But this is a business strategy, and it works because it's very, very easy money. Like, that is the whole point of this. Like, it's so easy to make money doing this. They're going to make $500 million by selling music rights to other companies. That doesn't mean it's out of their catalogue. They can use the music still. So... and that's really handy for copyright insurance and everything. So Snyderverse. Warner Brothers are not going to sell DC to anyone. I mean, in 10 years' time, could be a different thing. But at the moment, they're still in a good place. If they sell this $500 million, they can finally make their Superman legacy film. I don't know what they're going to make their money with. Like, quickly, I want to go on the Across the Spider-Verse news. So obviously it's come out that 4 animators who left the project and Beyond the Spider-Verse, including Beyond the Spider-Verse, have talked about the awful work conditions of working on this film. So the film was obviously $150 million Sony project. 100 artists fled the movie before its completion. 4 of these crew members agreed to speak about the sprint to the finish of the movie 3 years into the sequel's development and production. Yada yada. I read quite a bit of this. To be honest, it's kind of disgusting how they were made to work 11 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's the thing that gets me. 11 hours a day I kind of get. 7 days a week, you have no life. There's nothing. And there's a lot of questioning about is it Phil Miller? Chris Miller? Lord and Miller, basically, but the Miller one being very... oh no, Phil Lord. Phil Lord being just a bit of an asshole, basically, and just asking for way more recuts and reanimation, and, you know, these renders take ages, and it's a lot of work, and it's a grueling project. Pascal, Amy Pascal is the head of Pascal Pictures, which is who does the Spider-Man films, agrees that it's a very grueling project, but one of the weirdest things she said is, I guess, welcome to making a movie. And she's not wrong. She really isn't wrong. That it's not easy working in that industry. It's hard. There's a lot of work to do. It's difficult, but you have to kind of respect the creatives on it. I think creatives should be treated the same as everyone else. I don't understand if they can't. There has to be some sort of rule in place of like how many times a fucking director or a producer in this case can do reworked stuff and just annoying animators, because animation is hard. It's very hard. Anyway, Deadpool 3. Deadpool bloody 3. I keep forgetting this film's happening. I keep forgetting Logan's coming back. But this is the same situation as the Flash movie. Will people go and watch this? Of course they will. Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. People still love Hugh Jackman. But the biggest rumour is going back to DC is Ben Affleck is rumoured to be in Deadpool 3, possibly reprising his role as Matt Murdock. The film is rumoured to be a multiverse story. We know it's a multiverse story, definitely. So Ben Affleck might be returning as this guy in Deadpool 3, which is kind of funny. I think it would be funnier if he was Batman in it, and that would be a lot funnier. But he was really dissed for that role. It's very weird how the sort of the community works. Because years ago when Daredevil came out, and I still remember the reception to it when I was young, is people fucking hated this movie. They thought it was awful. It was not a great movie, to be honest. I've watched it not long ago. It's not a brilliant movie, I have to admit. So it's very weird when the whole fandom goes, "Oh my god, it's gonna be great." It's like, you hated Daredevil. But again, it's that nostalgia thing. It's just like, oh, do you remember when Daredevil was around 2003? What a wonderful time. When did Daredevil come out, actually? I need to find that out. It was 2003, wasn't it? I remember seeing the posters for it in the cinema. Yeah, 2003. That's crazy. And X2 was 2003, wasn't it? Because I remember seeing the Daredevil and X-Men poster together. Yeah, that's it. X2 2003. Which poster was it? Was that one? Or this one? Something like that. It was this poster. I remember being so excited for X-Men 2 because my sister showed me the first one and I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. So yeah, Deadpool 3 might have Ben Affleck as Daredevil. Who'd have thought? Also Chris Pratt as Booster Gold. No ifs or busts. Nah, he's too old for that. I think he's too old. Do you know who would be a good Booster Gold? And you're gonna be like, yeah. And he's already been in the DC universe. And I'll show you now. Is Freddie Stromer. He is Booster Gold through and through. I think he'd be an amazing Booster Gold. Look, there he is, the blonde hair. Perfect. That's Booster Gold. Easily, I think they could just recast him as Booster Gold. I think he'd be brilliant. I think Pratt is just too old now, and is just too typecast as Star-Lord. Like I don't think they'll bring Pratt into the DC universe. What do you think, Derpy? Do you think that's a good thing? But Ben Affleck was good casting at Batman, though, after Daredevil. I remember hearing on the radio, I was working in a motor shop, and I heard on the radio Ben Affleck has been cast as Batman, and I went, no! So, no way. And then, do you remember in... I think it was 2013, actually. Do you remember that first image we got from Zack Snyder? I was sold right there. I was like, look at him. 2014, May 2014. Yeah, I was about to just leave my job there. That's why I was confused. But yeah, with the Batmobile and everything, I was like, oh my god, this looks like the best thing ever. I have to give it to Snyder. His designs for Batman were spot on. Really good. Oh, this did not age well. Actually, I've got to know what it is on Rotten Tomatoes at the moment. I don't care for Rotten Tomatoes, but the thing I do look at on Rotten Tomatoes is the audience score, because it's the audience that matters. Fuck the critics. And in this case, the audience really don't like this movie. 66%. Critics consensus, The Flash is funny, fittingly fast-paced, and overall ranks as one of the best DC movies in recent years. I can agree with that, apart from the Batman. If you're saying the DCEU, that's a different story. Like, yeah, it's my favourite DCEU film since Aquaman. Like, Aquaman is a fucking brilliant film. That's a really good film, Aquaman. Oh man, something's leaked in my bag. I've got a bag of food to keep me going. So the audience says Flash has enough heart, humour and action, not to mention fun cameos to make up for any drawbacks. I kind of disagree with that. The film works really well. It's powerful. I love it. Keaton, like the character he's playing, has had several decades to think about what being Batman might really mean, and his prickly, complicated presence has a gravity the movie otherwise strives for, but seldom achieves. Keaton's Batman, I think, could have had a bit more. There could have been a bit more there. Sorry, my tripod for the bloody microphone's falling apart. There you go, fixed it. Yeah, James Gunn needs to be at San Diego next month and have the actor who plays Clark Joseph Kent Superman there in costume. It would be a missed opportunity. I don't think he'll be in costume because I still think they're kind of finalising that. I don't think they'll start shooting this film until the WGA strikes and all the other strikes are over. I think it's going to be delayed, Superman. And the Batman, I think it's going to be delayed till winter till 2026. I really believe that. So yeah. Just dropping some. Here it is. So there's this guy Steve. Oh, not Steve. Lord's Watchman, who just who posted this to different politicians, like the President of the United States, and it's this, and it's the funniest thing ever. But in more important stuff, he posted a video which I thought was really funny. Oh wow, he's got even more. So he's tagged David Zaslav and DC and Warner Brothers and James Gunn.
This is what happens when people like Lane Gunn and David Zaslav and Peter Safran and WBD executives and Hollywood executives continues to screw with their artists and employees' artwork and us as customers, consumers, and fans. This is what happens. We're just all the laws they've broken, all the laws that the executives have broken, every law in the book, federal, state laws.
I have no idea what he's on about. There was one about the Flash, basically, and I think I can find it if he's still got it up there. But he was ripped into. But he's not well, this guy. This is it.
Former WB Ann Sarnoff, Toby Emmerich,
Walter Hamada. Now, WBD, David Zaslav, James Gunn, Peter Safran. It's just more of the same, where you continue to destroy, ruin, and sabotage your artists and your employees' projects and work. Knock it off!
That's how I remember the video. Oh my god, this guy.
Knock it off! The Flash is the trash!
I love that line, actually. I do like that.
You're terrible! You're terrible! Now, Andy Muschietti, I'm sure, the director for The Flash, meant well. But you idiots interfered and meddled and sabotaged and ruined
Gunn didn't meddle, he meddled with the end.
and destroyed yet another good DC movie with your Disney and Sony Marvelized agenda, with your LGBTQ plus agenda.
I'm sorry, but it was the most whitest superhero film I've seen in years. And the most straight film I've seen in years. So I don't know what he's on about.
And SJW and cancel and woke culture. Garbage! And that's one of the reasons why the writer's strike is going on and why the actors and actresses are joining in. We are pissed.
They're not pissed about The Flash. They're not. They're pissed about. They're not paid enough.
And the fans are pissed. We are sick and tired of it. We're sick and tired of your micromanagement over our favorite directors, stories, movies, and characters. Namely, DC and their superheroes. You keep ruining our favorite characters, our favorite
This guy looks like me.
directors, movies, and stories. Stop!
Oh dear. Oh dear. This is what's happened. James Gunn, how could you?
Stop!
And the video cuts off there. Sorry, it was just so funny. Obviously, don't go bully that guy and everything. Just leave him to it. I hope he finds some help. Yeah, I think that's the live, guys. I think I'm pretty much done with the live. I'm hopefully going to clip up some of this and yeah, make videos out of it. But if I don't, oh well. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and yeah, see you on the next one. Bye bye.